Let's get started. We can all finish our pizza. I know I'm going to have another slice. Welcome to the fourth meeting of the Swanton Enhancement Project for 2025. Looking forward to some good speakers tonight and getting plenty of updates and looking forward to 2026. One of the things that we're going to ask each of you tonight is to talk to you, when you give your reports, tell us what you'd like to see from SEP moving forward next year. We do need some kind of a strategic plan, is a little bit of a formal description, but we want to know from you guys who are out there in the community how we can do better or how we can be supportive. First, I'd like to introduce Kathleen Chateau.
Very good.
To welcome us and say a few words.
Hi, everybody. I am the rector here at Holy Trinity Church. I've been here for just over a year. Actually, your meeting in September of 24 was about a day and a half after I started. So my family and I love being here and living here, and so I just wanted to welcome you all to this space. I'm so glad that you use it. I love having this building used on a regular basis. It makes me very happy. And if you don't know, the restrooms are just across the hallway over here, so please avail yourself of those as you need it. And I'm gonna just hang out and hear what y'all have to say.
Please do. Thank you. The
You're
space
welcome.
is wonderful. It certainly has changed a lot.
It's a good space, yes.
I used to take tap dancing right over there, so I think last time we talked about me looking like a Gumby playing tennis, even worse as a tap dancer. So, okay, taking a quick look at the agenda, are there any additions, edits, concerns, misspellings
For the agenda?
for the agenda?
Yes, I'm just gonna add two things under new business. One is adding a couple names to our bank account. And then I'm gonna make a motion to donate dollar amount, I'll mention the dollar amount at that time, to the Abenaki and Catholic Church food shelves. This time of year, and hearing all the issues out there, I think it'd be good for us to make a donation.
Okay, thanks, Joel. We should probably take care of the minutes now, too. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes? If there are no changes, if we have a motion to, well, first of all, are there any changes or edits to the minutes? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Joel, second. Oh, thanks, guys. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Excellent. The minutes from the, what would that have been, September meeting
Yes, 18 September.
have been approved. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to kick right off with our first guest speaker of the night, Reg Beliveau. Many of you know Reg from his previous role, but let me tell you a little bit about what he's doing now and what he's going to be talking about. So Reg now works for the Department of Public Safety, State Fire Marshal Office, Public Education Section, and is the Fire and Life Saving Training Coordinator. Your business cards must be, that's a heck of a title.
People from the state are messed up.
He travels all over Vermont and teaches fire and life safety to older adults, community risk prevention to fire departments, and offers live fire extinguisher training to multiple agencies, businesses, and state employees. So what he's going to do tonight is give us just a little bit, talk a little bit about what he does, but I would encourage you all to follow up with him to see what he can do for your business, any other nonprofit you're involved with, just to make sure that, you know, I think it's something that we all think we know about, but we do need those constant reminders. So I'm going to turn it over to Reg. Thank you.
It's really good to come back and do this kind of stuff. So I'm gonna put my timer on and give myself 15 minutes. Yeah, sure. And I am gonna talk very fast. So yeah, so back when I was hired a couple of years ago, the mission was to get out these programs through the NFPA across the state. I'm the only person. I started out as a temp. I was 20 hours a week, and that was it. I couldn't exceed that. And there's some weeks that I can put in 1,000 miles in a week, just traveling all over the state teaching these programs. This specific program is the Steps to Safety. It's an older adults program. And this one, I taught this one last night in Morrisville to EMS groups. So the purpose of this program is to help older adults actually be safer. And hopefully if I turn this thing on. So a little bit of statistics. This is deaths in the state of Vermont since fire deaths since 2000. This year it says 8, but we actually have 11 fire deaths this year. And every one of these fire deaths have been in single-family homes. One was in a tent. Actually, it was a camper. But the fire marshal's office, we have no jurisdiction over single-family homes. Only unless you turn your home into a B&B, then we have jurisdiction for inspection. You have a traveler come into your home, it is up for inspection. But if you are in your homes, single family, we have no jurisdiction. So the purpose of this chart is just to show you that 54% of those deaths have been over the age of 60. So what's this statistic telling us is that we are missing a demographic. It's our older adults. We do a really good job, fire departments do a really good job at Fire Prevention Week in the school, teaching kids, but it's our older adults that we're missing. And whether it be because our mobility is less, medications that we're on, but there's something that we're missing. So the Steps to Safety program is to basically give the information to older adults, kind of jog their memories. And with this program, there's also a fire extinguisher, or not a fire extinguisher, but a smoke alarm program that we go out and last night EMS, they've got each department, there was Stowe, Morrisville, Hardwick, one other department that was there, they got 36 fire alarms. So basically they could go out and install these when they go do whatever, welfare checks for older adults. So anyway, we all know fire moves fast, right? And the reason for it moving fast, the way places are built nowadays, the synthetics of the furniture and whatnot, open floor plans, fire moves very, very quickly. And it's hot, we know that. It's about 1,000 degrees eye height within the first 2 minutes, and smoke is dark. That'll kill you before the fire ever will. Okay? Smoke CO, the CO is very deadly. So all the byproducts, the hydrogen cyanide, hydrogen or phosgene, all of these chemicals coming off the burning materials in the home will kill you quicker than the fire. Common causes of home fires, cooking is a big cause. Space heaters, another one, smoking, electrical, and candles. And obviously, like I said, I'm gonna go very, very quickly through this stuff. But space heaters, you need to give them their space. They need to be 3 feet. Where people say, well, I don't carry a tape measure with me. I stand there and do this. That's 3 feet. Okay, keep it away from flammables, combustibles. Unplug them if you leave the room, leave the house for the day. Don't leave them running all night long. Kitchen fires are the biggest also cause. We saw that cooking was the biggest cause of home fires. One of the things that is important to remember here is that always have tight-fitting sleeves when you're cooking. Have a lid to put it over the pan. If you do catch fire, pay attention to what you're cooking. Don't turn around and leave the kitchen area. If you have a fire extinguisher, have it near an exit door out of the kitchen. And people ask me about the fire blankets. Okay, oh, I bought a fire blanket the other day instead of an extinguisher. And I go, well, they're not UL listed. The NFPA does not recognize them as a piece of firefighting equipment. So if you feel that comfortable to get that close to a fire, you know, you're gonna go like this and you're gonna walk up to the stove and say, okay, where is it? Now you're exposing yourself. Okay, ideally, the fire blanket would be good for the stop, drop, and roll aspect, right? Older adults, when we hit the floor, chances are we're gonna be there a while, okay? One of the best things is to cover yourself. So those fire blankets would be ideal for that. Don't recommend using them for a kitchen fire. Carbon monoxide, just went through a conference in New Hampshire on CO. We had 2 guest speakers and they were both lost a child due to CO poisoning. One was in a boat and the other one was in a hotel, believe it or not. So a lot of people, when you're traveling, carry a personal CO alarm or a regular CO alarm that you would have at home, bring it with you and put it in your hotel room. the cause of death of CO is a mess and it's not well understood. Some of the things that we're finding out now, the general malaise calls, for rescue, it could be that low levels of CO. A CO alarm won't go off until it's about 30 parts per million, I believe, for a 15-minute interval. And once it reaches that 15-minute interval, if it comes right back down, the thing's not going to alarm. But at low levels, 15, 20, it's not going to alarm. Constant low levels, you're finding out that is causing ailments that you go to your doctor, I'm not feeling well, don't know why. It could be constant low levels of CO. So they're having newer alarms. I recommend if you get a CO alarm, get the ones that have the digital readout. So you can look at them all the time. You can see what it's reading. Some more information about this placement. So CO, air is 1, okay, 1.0. CO is 0.97. So you could argue it's a little bit lighter than air, but CO is ambient, so it's all over the place. So if you position it low, plug it in, you can position it eye height, which I like better. But if you get combo CO and smoke alarms, you've got to follow the smoke protocol. So 4 inches from the wall, 4 to 12 down on the wall. Okay, 4 inches, and 4 inches, take your alarm, there's 4 inches. 4 to 12, take the alarm, go down twice right there on the wall. Okay, that's placement for smoke. Obviously, don't warm up your car in the garage door open or closed. Make sure your vents, now with the wintertime, make sure your vents are all clear from snow. Bed shakers, if you're hearing impaired, we offer some bed shakers. I got a very limited supply. So basically what it looks like an alarm clock there. And when you hit your alarm, your smoke alarm, it'll sync with that alarm. And there's a little, it looks like a mouse, and it's on a cord, and it goes underneath the pillow. I did an install up in Tunbridge with an 84-year-old lady, and we said, okay, let's try it out. She laid down and she come this far off the bed once I set the alarm off. We know it's effective. Practice an escape plan, whether you're older, younger, with your kids. I always, when I taught this in the school, I always told the parents and the kids to tell their parents if you do sleepovers, know what the escape plan is for a strange place or to your friend's house. Okay? Obviously have an escape plan according to your abilities as well. I know where my mom used to live in Morrisville, they had a lot of people that were non-ambulatory and they had them repositioned on the first floor. If you can't get out, protect in place. Keep the smoke out. Have your phones with you, call the fire department, open the door, open the windows and scream bloody murder, okay? First thing the fire department's gonna do once they show up on scene, they're gonna park the truck and the officer in charge is gonna do a 360 around the house. We won't go in and fight the fire until we know we've established rescue. Everybody's out of the house. Okay. Obviously know your emergency numbers. We talked about this, the escape for your abilities. Now, fall protection. That was really quick. I only had 15 minutes. This is usually a 45-minute presentation. Fall protection. So 1 in 3 adults are gonna fall. 1 out of 17 of them are gonna go to the emergency room. And one of the things that happen when you have a fall, you're gonna be more cautious when walking, so you're gonna start to limit your walking, limit your exercise, because you don't wanna fall again. So that's where the sedentary part comes in, and this is where lack of mobility comes in, and our older adults are falling more and more. Regular exercise helps that. Tai Chi, bone builders. There was a bone builders course. I'm trying to think, one of the other presentations I did. And Tai Chi is an excellent exercise for older adults. It teaches them balance, that kind of stuff. So it's really, really good. I'm a big advocate of that. And then of course, if you're gonna exercise, ask your doctor to make sure that you can still do the stuff you wanna do. When you get out and take your time. My mom used to get up out of it, she's 94 years old, bless her heart. She had 11 of us running around with brats. But anyway, when she gets up, grabs her walker and takes off, Mom, stop for a second, just take your time, get up first, get your bearings and then take off. And yeah, she listens to me sometimes, just like I did with her. But anyway, when you get out of bed, obviously plant your feet, sit there for a second, and then get up. Stand for a minute, get your balance, be aware of your surroundings. Electrical cords in pathways, walkways, stairwells, shoes on stairwells, clothing on stairwells, books and magazines and plants. Make sure your access is clear. Have one hand on the handrail. Have your if your washing machine is downstairs, and obviously your bedroom's upstairs, then when you're bringing laundry up, do smaller loads, have one hand on the handrail. Light up your pathways. Night lights are great. Okay, being on the fire department for so many years, I used to always have a night light because when you get up in the middle of the night and you want to run out the front door, you don't want to trip over anything or fall down the stairs. Done it once, not fun. But night lights are good. Getting up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, I have motion sensors in the hallway. You get out, you walk by, the light goes on, there, you do your thing, go back to bed, light goes down. Non-slip mats in the bathroom. They don't recommend the ones that have the suction cups on the bathroom walls because they will slip and slide off, okay? So hard mount handrails, non-skid mats in the shower, also on the floor when you get out of the shower. Pay attention to your, when you're walking on even sidewalks, walkways, that kind of stuff. Have non-skid mats underneath your carpets, prevent slip, trips, and falls. Our older adults, I mean, they can be healthy as heck. I know there's a lady not far from here, doing really, really well. She slipped and fell, broke her hip. She died a week later. That's a death sentence sometimes when you break your hip. So, matter of fact, Jen's mom, I told her, I said, I'm gonna sit down with her and have a conversation with her on this. 84 years old, she still rides her zero turn and does all kinds of stuff. I said, I wanna keep you that way, let's have these conversations. That's where I think this is important, that this program, it's an NFPA-based program, but any organization can present this program, okay? If, you know, like if the Episcopal Church wanted to do this program for an older adults, call me in, I'll happy to co-teach with somebody. And then after I do it and somebody says, oh, I'm really comfortable with this, it's yours. Have fun with it, do what you want to do with it. I've been to Wake Robin, I've been to Morrisville on Meals on Wheels programs. Like I said, all over. I love this program. I have a lot of fun with it. Wear good fitting shoes, no high heels, kind of thing. Slippers. My good friend fell because he wore slippers to go out and get the mail, slipped on the wet grass. His wife gave him crap and says, hey, you know that's why they call them slippers. But anyway, so wear appropriate shoes for the appropriate environment. Medications. Have a list of medications handy, just in case, you know, like we don't have any flooding in the state of Vermont, but just in case you gotta go. Have a go bag, have a list of medications, so if you do have to get out in a hurry, at least you know what you got for meds. Make sure family members have a copy of it as well. Obviously, don't cook if you're on heavy meds. So some meds will make you sleepy, some will impact your balance, and they negatively interact with alcohol. So try to stay away from that. Consider a medical alert. My mom, we gave her a medical alert because she had neuropathy. She fell quite a bit. So we gave her a medical alert. And that is quick. 1 minute left.
That was great.
Questions?
Any questions for Reg?
So, yes.
Yeah, okay, real quick question, something I still haven't quite get the answer on, smoke detector for garage. Is there special ones for the garage?
Just because of the environment, because it's really dusty in there, they're gonna go off quite a bit.
Right.
I would recommend, if you wanna put one in there, regular smoke alarm is fine. If interconnected, they're gonna go off everywheres because it is dusty in there. And if you start your car and then you back it out of the garage, you are gonna get some reaction to the alarm.
Okay, so there isn't someone special that has any
Not that
type
I
of
know of.
delay or anything?
No.
Okay, and you mentioned night lights. One thing I would add to that possibly, it's not really a night light, but you plug a light into the wall, so if the power goes out, it comes on.
Yeah.
They're really cheap now, you can get 3 of them for like $20. Usually with a fire, you're probably not gonna lose power right off, but if you happen to, you would have some other source of light. Yeah, those come in real handy. Yeah, thank you.
I just want to know if you have a card because I'd love to have you come to the library and do my senior group.
Ah, there it is. 15 minutes.
Wow, nice job. Any other questions for Reg? This was helpful. Just hearing this briefly, I am an offender. wear bad shoes, I make bad choices on stairs, I leave books and shoes on the staircase. So these are things that, we have to think about, and thanks for putting this in front of us.
I mean, it's my hope, I had done a program up at the Catholic Church last year, I believe it was, the fire department sponsored it for me. But, I mean, giving back to my community after doing what I did for 12 years, it's nice to come back and be able to do this. So I'd love to go to the library and do a program.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
I would just add, as having been a previous EMT for many, many years, if you have older folks that you are helping to care for, scatter rugs, or, and I know you kind of alluded to having the non-skid mats, but not having scatter rugs at all is probably a better idea. They tend to get caught up on walkers especially, and I've had a lot of folks that I went in for that had falls because of scatter rugs. And then the other thing is to make sure that you have a working light outside that is above your house number, because it's very difficult, especially in Vermont, to find house numbers on mailboxes. They're not always there.
There's a program that goes in, together with this one. It's a community risk reduction program that I teach to emergency services as well. And that, it does cover a lot of that as well, having house numbers available. There's a smoke alarm program, Fire Safe 802, to where that the fire departments put out a feeler that says, hey, who would like to have a home safety visit? It's not an inspection, it's a safety visit. So we go in and just do what we do. We look around and say, let's talk about this carpet.
Yeah.
Why do you like that one there? Do you have a non-skid mat to it? Have you tripped or stumbled over that? Have those conversations. You don't go in and tell somebody you need to remove that carpet. You have conversations with them. Hoarders it's a difficult conversation to have with them. There's issues associated with that, but life safety, if you have to go in and remove them from the home, it's difficult. If they have a fire, it's difficult for evacuation. So the home safety visits are a nice practice. I mean, we are, I don't want to say experts in the field, but we understand a lot of things that the layperson doesn't understand. So just sharing that knowledge, and these programs are exactly for that, is to get out and share your knowledge with the public. So, sir.
I actually got, I had a thought, I do Meals on Wheels with Age Well. I don't know if you've talked at all with Age Well.
No.
They would be a great organization. They hold a lot of different events where you could reach a lot of elderly folks and get this information out.
Yeah.
So I throw that out there.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is exactly what this program's about, to do a conversation with our community members, our community partners, and get the word out to get it back to us. So like I said, I'm the only one in the state that does this. And, like I said, that I need more people to help with this program.
I can tell you that our Meals on Wheels drivers call in more welfare checks than any other population combined. They're fantastic about making sure their folks are okay.
I was able to get the state of Vermont's EMS coordinator, that she, because of the program, the steps to safety, and also the community risk reduction program, if I did it to EMS, it was considered continuing education credits now.
Yeah.
So if they sit there and listen to me for a couple hours, they get 2 credits.
Perfect.
Okay?
Thanks, Reg.
Thanks, Reg.
Thank you.
I'm gonna grab my toys and leave.
Okay. Thanks again. So I realize that I know everybody in the room, I think I know everybody in the room, but others may not, especially Kathleen, who's been so graciously hosting us. So why don't we take a few seconds and go around the room for introductions, and then I'll have Joel introduce Dave. Go ahead.
Sure. I'm Crystal Lampman, community member, former EMT with Missisquoi Valley Rescue, and I dispatch for our local police departments.
Joel Clark, treasurer of SEP, and on the Swanton Select Board.
Abby Gaudet, director of the Swanton Public Library.
Neil Spear, I'm a Swanton Village trustee at present.
Marie Spear, I'm on the Arts Council.
Bill Sheets, Swanton Village Manager.
Yeshua Bastian, a principal at Swanton, representing Missisquoi Valley School District.
Michelle Desatel, I'm the branch manager in Swanton for People's Trust Company.
Brian Savage, the Swanton Town Administrator.
My name is Nick Brusso. I'm a representative for the Historical Society for Sefton on the select board.
Shadow Rector here at Holy Trinity.
Good evening, I'm Matt Walker and I represent Swanton and Shelton with the state legislature. And also chair the House Transportation Committee. So, send your complaints.
Dave Chevalier, President of Chevalier Drilling Company.
And I'm Kirsten Bourgeois, Dairy Farmers of America, and I am now the chair of SEP, I understand. So thank you. I think now we'll just continue down with the agenda, and Joel, if you'd like to introduce our next speaker.
Yes, I'll be glad to do that. Before I do though, the sign-in sheet,
Yep.
if people would, just make sure you had a chance to sign in because I got tapped to do minutes and I'll make sure I can get it right. So, without further ado, Dave, 6 of 8 kids, grew up helping in the family drilling business, graduated from Missisquoi in 1976. Upon graduation, joined the Vermont Army National Guard, graduated from officer school in 1983, and then left the Guard. I guess I gotta ask you, David, did you leave because of officer school or was it after that?
No, my dad was sick at the time, so I had to come back to the business.
Okay, no, anyway. David served as past president of the Vermont Groundwater Association, past Vermont delegate to the New England Groundwater Association, former member of the Vermont Groundwater Advisory Board. He's worked in all aspects of the industry with his 4 brothers and 1 sister. He has earned master level certifications through the National Groundwater Association and the Water Quality Association. Through buyouts and retirements, he's now the sole owner of Chevalier Drilling Company Incorporated. Built a 10,400 square foot facility in Swanton on the Middle Road at the old missile base site, and currently employs 17 full-time people. And something I didn't see in here, but I'm quite sure you coached some basketball too, didn't you? Is that the cause of gray hair, one of my kids?
Yeah,
or?
that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I coached the freshman boys team for 3 or 4 years at Missisquoi.
Yes.
Yes.
Very nice. So we're gonna turn the floor over to you, Dave.
All right, thank you. As Joel said, I'm one of 8. I'm one of 8 kids actually. There was we were 5 brothers in the business and 1 sister, and through retirements and buyouts, so a lot of my brothers are still working, and some are working part-time. But I'm the youngest of the group, so I've bought them out, and I'm operating the business at this point. I have 2 young nephews, both graduates of VTC Engineering School, that will be coming in and taking over the business at some point. So we have a succession plan in place at this point right now, which is great, because it's hard to find people that want to do this type of work. It's hard, heavy physical work. You're out in the elements every day, and we have a hard time finding people that want to do that today. It's just not what young people want to do. So I want to start out with just a little bit figuring out what your guys' knowledge is of groundwater. My dad started the business. He was a cow farmer, milk farmer, dairy farmer, and he bought a used drilling rig, fixed it up, and drilled himself a well. Drilled one for a neighbor, and then eventually sold the cows in 1958 and went into business. In fact, one of the first wells he ever drilled was for Larry Trombley's father in Northfield. Larry Trombley, the school teacher, which is a long ways away. That was before interstate. And we were all brought up into business, working summertime during school, and it's been a rewarding journey working with family. I mean, people say, how can you work with 4 other brothers and a sister? It was never about the money. It was working about getting the job done, getting the work done. And as my mother said when she was dying of cancer, she says, I don't care how you run the business. I want you guys to all be friends at the end of this. And it was good advice, actually, because working in a family business is not always the easiest thing in the world to do, as anybody who's ever worked with a sibling knows. So we do more than drilling water wells. We drill water wells for houses, farms, communities, industrial complexes, but we also do geothermal drilling. Geothermal drilling is a is a big part of what we do now. It's a growing industry, and geothermal drilling is basically drilling a hole in the ground to take heat out of the ground to heat and cool your house or building. A few years ago, we did a job for St. Michael's College. We drilled 50 500-foot holes in the ground and put in a geothermal system. And the facilities manager came around when we were doing that and said to us, I don't know why they're doing this, this is a waste of money. And then they called us up about a year later to do another field, and we saw that same guy. He said, this is the best system we've ever had. There's no maintenance, there's no flame, there's no pollution, it's just great, it just runs. So when it's designed right, it works. The problem has been, and there aren't that many people who can design a geothermal system properly. And so you hear bad stories about some geothermal installations. So knowing the right people to talk with, and we partner with several people when we put a geothermal system in. So they work with us. All right, so I have prizes for people that can answer these questions correctly. All right, what percentage of the earth is fresh water? Whoever gets as closest gets a hat.
80? Fresh water.
Fresh water.
Fresh water.
9%.
3% is right on.
Oh, wow.
It's right there, getting closer than that.
All right. When do I show up for work?
Aren't you an engineer?
All right, so that means what percentage is salt water?
97.
97% is salt water in the world. All right. Here's what percentage of the available fresh water in the United States is underground?
70%.
You might as well throw out a guess. You may be closest and get a hat. What percentage?
Go with 90.
What percentage of the available fresh water in the U.S. is underground? You look at all the lakes and streams and everything that's above ground. And what about ground in the ground?
75.
5%.
40.
98% of the available fresh water in the United States is underground. Who said?
A lot of trickery going
Neil
on
said
here.
70.
Somebody said.
Someone said
Somebody said
75.
90.
I'm waiting for the,
He said 90.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the prize. It's probably the last one that's a free well drilling. As you know, you've been to my house and I know friends. We gotta start over.
It's a delirious group. All right. What's the deepest point of Lake Champlain?
Bottom.
372.
435.
I was thinking around 450.
500.
250.
600.
What was yours?
435.
372.
Do some quick math.
You're closest.
That's because he's already got a hat.
400 feet.
All
400
right,
feet.
thank you.
So there goes your free well.
Oh, wait. Can I trade up?
There's no exchange.
That's the consolation prize.
All
I
right.
guess.
What's the weight of 1 gallon of water?
Slightly over 8 pounds, 8.36 pounds.
Can't get any closer than that.
Wow.
You win. Yeah, well, I was on the fire department for 30 years.
You got a hat out of it.
I bit my tongue.
Yeah,
I bit my tongue.
yeah, you knew that one.
Yeah.
You got a hat. You got a hat.
All right. In the state of Vermont, when you drill a well, you have to report it to the state. You have to report all the data to the state, and they accumulate all the data, and everybody has access to that as a public service. How many wells were drilled in the state of Vermont in 2024? If you were to guess.
Well, do your 50 holes count?
No, the geothermals they're not counted.
500.
3,600.
1,050.
200.
1,024.
Thanks.
And we did 237 of them. Which doesn't include, we work a lot in New York State too, which are not recorded in those totals. So we also do water treatment. Over in the islands, 90% of the time you're gonna hit sulfur water. People don't wanna put up with it today.
Really?
Yeah,
Been in my house.
Hog Island, we had it.
yeah.
It's still. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been a real growing part of the business, because what people used to put up with in the old days, they don't put up with it today. It's the end of the world if they smell sulfur, so they want it fixed. And technologies keep changing. We're always going to schools, going to seminars, or watching videos on new technology that comes out, or new products that come out. It's really a changing business for sure. So you see our trucks going through every day. We go all the way down to Montpelier. We go to, we had a crew in Malone today, big farm over there, out of water. We had to send a crew over there. We go to Lake Placid. Particularly over in New York State, there is a ton of good competition. There seems to be a lack of service people over there. In fact, a little while ago, we were doing a job in Peru for this $1 million house on the lake, and it was all Vermont contractors. And I asked the guy, I said, how come you get all Vermont contractors? He said, you're the guys only ones that return phone calls. and that's true over there. If you talk to people over there, it's very, very common. So we just built a new building over at the missile base. Most of you know where the missile base is. It's the old Atlas missile silo, which as we were moving, I ran across a report on those Atlas missile silos, which was very interesting to read, that I hadn't read for years and years. It was a report by a company that did a synopsis of the evolution and the construction of those, and they were a pretty dangerous silo because they used liquid oxygen, and there was always leaks. And I remember reading this one description. It wasn't about this one, but there was a fuel truck fueling something up on the edge of the pit. The doors were open, and these pits are 180 feet deep, and the brakes went on the fuel truck, and the truck rolled into the pit and went down 185 feet, full fuel truck. And they've had several where they've been total blasts where everything has blown up and people got killed, and it was really a dangerous spot to work. I'm not sure whatever happened on this one. I didn't see any stories in my report about that one. But. So we built a reputation that is second to none in our state. Yeah. We get calls when somebody else has done something and there's nobody that will want to tackle the job. We've tooled up to be able to do fishing jobs. We have down-the-hole camera. We have the ability to do geothermal. We are water system operators in the state of Vermont. If you operate a water system that serves 10 or more people, you have to have a licensed operator who has to pass tests and can maintain continuing education points to operate that system, to be able to sample it and maintain the system. So we have probably 10 or 12 fairly large condo systems in small towns that we are the operator for the town or for the water system. So finding employees though is just as everybody right now, you talk to anybody right now, finding people that want to work is our biggest challenge. We had a young kid last summer, college age student. He was great. He was an engineering student. He asked questions, he was involved. He would jump in when they needed a set of hands. He anticipated what was going on. It was a joy to work with a young kid like that. He was just great, and we hope he comes back next summer too. So, deepest well we've ever drilled, it's around 1,700 feet.
Did you hit water?
No. There are certain areas, we know our areas, there's certain areas around parts of Fairfield, parts of Williston, parts of Heinsberg, where there's no water in the rock and you just go forever. And we do hydrofracking where we pressurize the rock to try and crack the rock to break open nearby veins of water. And that has about a 90% success rate, but even in some of those wells, if there's no water in the area, it can't make water, you can't get it, there's nothing there. So, the hydrofracking has been a boom in our business. And when we hydrofrack, we don't use any chemicals. It's just potable fresh water that we use. You hear about hydrofracking, everybody's scared about hydrofracking and the chemicals you're putting in the ground. We just use potable water.
Dave, could you explain how you use water to frack? Because that
Okay.
sounds very interesting.
It worked well at our house when you did it.
We do it. Yeah. So there's two ways to hydrofrack a well. One is what's called a single packer system. So we have well casing, the steel pipe you see sticking out of the ground goes down into the bedrock, and it might go down 20 feet or may go down 200 feet. But we have to know because we can't pressurize on that. So we go down into the well with this hydraulic packer on the end of 2-inch pipe, and we go down into the bedrock and we inflate this packer so it seals into the rock so nothing can come back up. And then through the center of it, we pump in high volume, high pressure water. And you watch the gauge on the pump go up to maybe 1,000 or 2,000 pounds. And all of a sudden, as you're pumping water in, you'll see it drop. And you know you've forced open something. So we continue to force water through there until the pressure stabilizes. Then we decrease, then we deflate the packer, go down further in the well, and then reflate it. We can tell from our pressures if we're below the point that the pressure was escaping on the first set. We do that 3 or 4 times, each time deeper. Pull it all back out, put a pump in, and if the people are using the well, we let them use it for a couple of weeks, and we come back and do a final pump test on the well because we're injecting 3,000 or 4,000 gallons of water into the ground. We get a false reading if we do a pump test right then and there. The other way we hydrofrac is called a zone frac, which is what they do in the oil fields a lot more. You put a packer and then a length of pipe in between, maybe 60 feet, and another packer, and you just seal off that 60 feet, and you just pressurize that, and so you're guaranteed to get a break in that 60 feet each time, and just keep moving that deeper and deeper in the well. And then again, we come back later and pump test it and see exactly. We get a lot of calls from realtors. They got an unknown well, it's $1 million house, they're selling it, the realtor says, come in and do a pump test on the well. We want to know what this well produces so these people don't move in and run out of water on this $1 million house. So we come in and we just pump the well empty and measure the recovery of the well and give a report to the realtors. We can give it to the new owner. But it's a good precaution when you're buying a house if there's an unknown well and there's no history on it. But anybody can go to the state environmental website and pull up well driller logs, and you can pull up either a database or you can pull up a map, and you can pull up your street, and then when you get on your street you can pull up all the wells in the area, and you click on the dot and it's going to bring up the well data of that well. Many times if you've got town water now, there used to be wells there and they may be in there too. Some of the older wells aren't on the program because they didn't have reporting until the mid-70s. 1987, November of 87, they started well tagging program. So if your well has a tag on it, it was drilled after 1987. And that identifies it very easily.
Any questions?
How many people do you employ?
17 right now. Yeah, with summer help, it increases a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, we could probably use another couple people actually. Yeah. But again, it's not an easy job. It can be a hard physical job, or it can be just miserable because you're out in the cold and the rain. It can be a real rewarding job because when you're drilling for somebody, particularly who's out of water, and you hit water, they're bringing out cookies and they're happy, and it's just you come in on the white horse and you solve the problem and they're happy, and it's a good feeling. It's a rewarding job, really. Every day on our phone, we probably get 4 to 10 out of water calls. These are people who have systems and something is broken down, whether it's a pump, a broken wire, a switch, or a control or something. So, which is why I was a little bit late tonight, because I got a phone call that came in and you have to take the phone call. And we have to have guys on call on the weekend because a big farm that has no water can't wait till Monday. So, and people don't want to be.
Dave, did you see a big uptick with this summer weather drought?
Yes. I mean, we're always busy, but it became more urgent because there were so many people that were out of water. It wasn't really the drilled wells that this drought was affecting. It was the shallow wells, people with the dug wells down 10, 15 feet. Those are more affected by seasonal variations of rainfall. And as those people are out of water, and until it rains, the well's not going to come back. So we had a number of plastic tanks in people's driveways that we would fill, hook up a temporary pump to give them water, so they would wait for us to finally get there and drill a well. So it's a sometimes drop what you're doing, go fix the problem so that these people have water. I mean, we're in the service business and we have to go. Farmers will also tell you that if their cows don't get water for a very short period of time, their milk production goes down, and it takes weeks for the milk production to come back up. So they, and some of these farms, the farm we were at today in Malone, He built a new barn. He's got like 3,000 cows. And we drilled 4 big wells for him at his new barn. And fortunately over there, we hit water a little easier than we do over here. But it's much harder rock. Yeah.
Dave, I just want to give your company and your family a compliment. Quite a number of years ago, my wife had a friend who was recently widowed and they basically moved to Vermont, and then she lost her husband quite suddenly. And she came to our house on a Saturday morning, was distraught because her pump didn't work in her well and she didn't know what to do, who to call, it out. So Lynn, my wife, asked me, well, who would you call? I said, Chevaliers. There's no discussion, Chevaliers. Well, they don't know who I am, and I said, it doesn't make any difference, give them a call. And we did from my house, and you guys were out there that afternoon, problem taken care of. She needed a new pump, and she just couldn't get over the service. And I said, well, I've known the family forever, and that's the way they were raised.
Yeah.
No discussion.
We're a trusting company. We get burned sometimes, but not very often. We always think that people are going to pay us, even if we don't know them, and we're going to do the work. And there's always a few people that stick you, but that's everybody gets that.
Yeah.
You try and read the person when you're working for them.
David, does New York State have the same monitoring laws that Vermont does, or are they more lenient, or?
There's, the county over there has a lot more authority than the state does, but the state has now created a program where you have to register your wells and put them on a database over there, which they never had up until recently. And as much as we were frustrated when they told us to do that, because we had to file a report and nobody was paying us to do that, it actually is a very nice tool and database when you're going to estimate a job and you know all the wells in the area are this deep. You can estimate based on well logs in the area versus just guessing. So it's a very helpful tool. We've all gotten used to it.
Anything else for Dave?
Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is the grand prize still in there?
I've got a few more hats.
No, the free well.
Wrong meeting.
Thank you.
We went to my bakery.
Okay, I think we covered the minutes at the outset of the meeting. Joel, and Dave, you're welcome to stay and hear from everybody if you want. There's pizza.
And there's a little bit of pizza and something to drink here as well.
A little bit of pizza, yeah.
Yes.
Joel.
All set for the finance report. Okay. As of the end of October, so I had the October statement. The unrestricted balance, $299.87. That does not include a deposit I'll be making tomorrow of $1,000. That's coming from the town of Swanton. They'd already given us most of theirs, but they realized they owed us $1,000, so that'll get us up over 10 in the unrestricted. Restricted, the balance as of 31 October was $9,540.83. 3,800 of that is committed to the Lamoille Valley Rail Trailhead. I wrote a check to Shumway for 4 trees for $1,993.50. And then we had a CD mature a couple days ago, and I transferred $2,000 to the checking account for beautification, so that doesn't show yet. Balance by categories, bikes and signs, $3,888.95, but $3,800 is committed to the LVRT. Capacity building, $1,477.25. I mention it every meeting. That's something we need to take a look at and see how we can use that money. Substance misuse, $1,625.61. Beautification, $1,734.02. And those two, the expenditure and the transfer almost equal out, so it's about $1,700 readily available. Marble Mill, $815, and I don't know, there was talk about doing some improvements to courts and things, but we're still sitting on that 815, so that was given to us by the chamber, so it's under restricted, so if there's something we can do to help, can't get you a well, Bill, but maybe,
That was just a personal request.
no, I know.
Could we, to make it easier, because we work so closely with Nicole and Rec, for this group to give that to Rec for the purpose of improvements at Marble Mill related to the tennis courts, pickleball courts?
I will check with her.
I mean, if that helps, because we don't necessarily plan when we need things, if they happen unexpectedly.
Okay, I will touch base with her.
But is the expectation that this would be for an improvement or a
Yes.
repair?
We'll eat this in one cost when we collaborate in the spring on the long-awaited specific pickleball net. And post will eat this entire cost.
Of which, we can hold this till spring.
Yeah.
I have no problem with it.
Whatever's easiest for,
Okay.
for
If
you.
if that's the plan, then I'll
Just hold it?
Yep.
Okay.
And then beautification, it still has 2 CDs. One is valued at $15,029.83. We just renewed that one for 6 months. And then they have a second one, $10,199.58.
What kind of rates did you get, Joel?
It was 3 something, just under, well, just over 3.5. I don't remember exactly what it was, and I don't have that paper with me, but it's dropped a little bit from last. You got it over there, Michelle?
I was afraid to ask, who did we get that from with Michelle here, so.
It's okay.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
down slightly from last year, but not surprising with
Yeah,
what you hear about interest rates and so on. Okay, that's the finance report. I don't know if there's any questions. One that comes up is we are under the 50,000, which makes our reporting to the IRS easier, and I have made the report for last year, and we'll be making the one after January.
Great. Do we have to approve this as a committee, or is it just a report out?
I think it's just a
Just a
report.
report.
Okay. All right, I'm trying to,
Only if we move any money, I think.
and we can do that officially in the spring. Okay. All right, great. Thanks, Joel.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's jump to the committee reports. Billy, want to start?
Sure, I'll set my timer to 15 minutes.
No, I have my 2 minutes.
Look, you've
right
come
here.
a long way. When it was Betsy, she set a 2-minute timer. You're not gonna do that to me, are you?
No, I wouldn't do that.
I know I.
In a way.
So we'll just, I'll highlight just a few things. Our wastewater project is, we're in month 18 of 18 months, but it's really 21 months now. So I can no longer say we're on time or on budget, but we are on budget. So as a reminder, that is really to take care of our long-term needs, improve the, reduce the use of chemicals, remove phosphorus from Lake Champlain, and it should last for the foreseeable future. I'm better than not using specific times. Just coming up the hill, let's talk about the bridge, because for whatever reason, at the last couple trustee meetings, there's some additional conversations related to that. The trustees have selected a replacement plan, which is essentially, they'll come in literally a 2-month period in 2028 or 2029, remove the decking, the railing, the sidewalks, and redo all of that. Closing the bridge for traffic for a very limited period of time. That makes our share 2.5%. Unless we do have a special guest in the chair of House Transportation. If he does want to commit now as our rep in Swanton to meet our match of $105,000, he's not even making eye contact. So I think it's probably more like 2029, but the match is not as bad as people think, because I'm hearing, again, our share is like $250,000, $500,000. It's not, it's $104,000, at least right now. And then as a reminder, people have posted on Facebook, you saw some activity in the park with people doing archaeological assessments. Again, so there's 3 iterations of transportation alternative projects. Merchants Row, where we'll start the construction next year. Church Street, which will start in 27, and likely Canada Street, 27 or 28. So The impact is those are $600,000 grants, but with a fairly significant match for each one of those, roughly $150,000. The trustees have had the courage to accept those because you don't want to lose that money, but at the same time, that's a financial impact that we're struggling to find ways to meet that need.
And you have to do this, right? You have to do the RTO review before.
It depends. In this case, yes. It was stormwater and redoing a deeper dig in the sidewalk area. So even though it was disturbed once, they had to go deeper in that area.
Oh.
So just what an opportunity to follow the rules with the state of Vermont. We break ground hopefully in April. It could be delayed to June on our new electric building, which will be at 124 First Street. That allows us to move out electric and everybody and then expand our police department without cost, but in the existing space, along with Public Works. And then, the 42 full-time employees have a lot on their plate and none other at this point, none worse than hydroelectric. So I think you're all well aware that we lost the tallest rubber dam in North America with a catastrophic failure in June. So that's really reduced significantly our ability to produce hydroelectric power. And we're doing some assessments now in terms of what it looks like to replace that. So there's lots going on.
Wow. Any questions for Bill? No? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Brian?
Okay. I'll go through this as quickly as possible. Joel will correct me if I'm wrong.
And I won't time you, Brian, don't worry.
Okay, we had several projects that were done here. The Swanton Hill project, the grade on the Swanton Hill was substantially lowered. The only one that we had to contract for was a licensed blaster, and they blasted through some ledge and actually made the road lower. So the grade is much lower than it was. Labor was done by the highway department staff, new road surface, and actually the blasting came in under budget. It was much safer now, and it's been long overdue. Road resurfacing, we've completed that. The portions of the Cook Road, Comstock, VNs, Donaldson, and Rustic Walk were resurfaced. Swanton also was awarded a grant for resurfacing a portion of the Class 2 highways of County Road and Quam Shore Road. The Barry Road culvert, the state of Vermont has awarded the town a grant to design and engineer work on a very large culvert on the Barry Road, and that culvert has to be replaced. This would be a box culvert design, and it's cost around $700,000.
Where's the Barry Road?
Well, that's up by the Swanton Hill Road. If you go up French Hill.
I won't ask for the Swanton Hill Road.
Right, if you go up French Hill, you take a right, and that's the Barry Road. You take a left, you're on the Swanton Hill Road.
Long ways from here.
Long way from here.
Well, either that or you go up around the pond.
Or you can go around the
Dirt
pond.
Road, Reynolds Road.
Yeah.
Barry Road is a very short road with no houses, no farms, and we have this big culvert that is failing there. And
There's a lot of deep wells on that road.
But unfortunately, because of the distance from the village center, the Barry Road, the emergency service zone for that section of Swanton is actually Fairfield. So the
Oh,
Fairfield
okay, I know
Fire
where it is.
Department.
Yep.
And so if we didn't have that culvert there, well, it's a long ways if your house is on fire if you need an ambulance. So, then at the town garage, the parking lot was resurfaced. The Brooklyn Street culvert was originally planned to be done late this fall, but the weather didn't cooperate. It was dry all summer and everything else into the fall. Then all of a sudden it got very wet over there. It appears this may have to wait until spring. We have purchased a new pickup truck cab and chassis, an F-250 for the highway department. The utility body that was on the old truck has been taken off and is being remounted onto the new truck. Should be into service soon. the Ronald Kilburn Railroad Museum. A grant has been applied for from the Vermont Historic Preservation to do repairs and upkeep and other upkeep to the depot. We'll be receiving word on that grant if we're going to get it or not in probably late December. The LVRT trailhead, Joel headed up that project. It is completed. It looks great. It's being used on a daily basis, and so far. We have a number of volunteers over there that pick up things and whatnot, but it's been kept very clean and it's being very well respected. It's a great asset to the community. We held on the November 12th a hearing on the local option tax. There was a very small turnout of people, but it was very positive. So it's up to the select board, but this appears this will be an item at the town meeting ballot on March 3rd. But we will probably have another public hearing about it. But that is one way of picking up revenue to fund some of these projects. And the 2026 budget is, the process has begun with requesting the departments come in to see the trustees, not trustees, the select board. And we'll be starting that on the December 2nd meeting. We'll have the first of the departments to come in and present their budgets for the forthcoming year. And that's about it.
Wow, thank you, that's a lot.
I'd like to just jump in. My select board hat is we're gonna have 2 positions on the select board that'll be on the ballot. So if anybody's interested, whether you're village or town, you can be part of the select board.
Whose seats are up, Joel?
What's that?
Whose seats?
Nicole
and Steve.
And Steve, yeah.
Petitions for that, you have to get a nominating petition signed by the voters, and those petitions of forms are available at the town clerk. And I'm not sure the exact date they do be back in, but the town clerk will have that information.
Usually at the end of January.
Yeah, I think it's there's a specific date, but it's the end of January.
Yeah, and I realize it doesn't necessarily apply to everybody in here, but we do have the camera, so if someone from Swanton's interested, get your name in the hat.
So I just have a couple of questions. So the town is responsible for the maintenance of the Kilburn building?
Yes. Yeah. That facility is owned by the town of Swanton.
So ongoing O&M and everything is up to the town to handle?
Yes.
Okay. And what would be and I can go to the next meeting, for the local option tax, it's 1% on?
It's 1% on sales of like material items, like paints and that sort of thing. And it can be three different ones, but what we're looking to go forward with is the general sales tax would go from 6 to 7%, meals and rooms, and then it's actually meals and alcohol beverages, and then rooms is separately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good, I'm glad it was well received. Great. Any other questions for Brian or Joel? Hearing none, moving along. Abby.
So we've got a ton going on at the library as always. Our senior bone builder program has really taken a revitalization, which is great to see. We were a little worried we were going to lose it, but we had some really great community members step up and really take hold of that. So it looks like it's going to be able to continue far into the future. We have lots of camps coming up. We have something I'm really excited about. We have No Strings Marionette Company. They came this summer and did an absolutely beautiful show, and they're coming back for a Christmas show on the 19th. They're doing a Christmas carol. Absolutely no one wants to miss it. It's so good. I'm really excited about that. And then the biggest thing we have going on right now is the Operation Happiness tags for kids' Christmas wishes. On a typical year, we get around 150. This year, we have 240 tags. So that's a huge need. If anyone knows somebody who's willing to help support some of those, maybe we put that in with the food as well from SEP. There are so many tags this year. It's unbelievable. And that's, the libraries, most of the local libraries get the tags, and then we distribute them. People buy the gifts, they bring them back to us, we sort them and bring them to the distribution center. So, and I'm also looking for somebody to help me bring all of the gifts to the distribution center. If anyone here has a big truck. That's pretty much it for me right now.
Great, thank you. Yeshua.
Yes, thank you. So to start off with Swanton, kind of update from Swanton Elementary, we do actually tomorrow have our Give Thanks dinner, which is pretty big at Swanton because both buildings have things going on. We expect over 500 additional people, and usually we serve about 400 kids. So it'll be a pretty big day. We have lots of volunteers coming in, which is wonderful, from different groups within town. So I did have my admin assistant just reach out to as many groups literally within Swanton that we could to see if people were available. We have something like 20 different volunteers coming in to help serve food. So that's actually really great. You might have seen that our Babcock construction is really coming to a close, at least the outside. Recently, they've kind of put up a lot of the outside blue, and a lot of the columns are done. The sign, the Mary S. Babcock sign, is out there now officially, so it's looking very good. And we actually are on track to be done for mid-December. So all 8 classrooms will be moving back into Babcock, which is quite the ordeal to make that work. We're actually having first and second grade students not there one day. That way, kind of in one foul swoop, we can literally pick up all the stuff and make their way over to the building. And we'll just kind of help because we've had about 130 additional kids in one of the buildings, which is just a lot when you already have over 600. Having most of them in one is a lot to manage. So we're looking forward to that. And people being, back in their original classrooms. And we did a parent-teacher conferences in October and had 94% attendance rate, which we thought was really great. My counterpart, Jessica Borbo, who's the assistant principal, really tries to push out there any kids we miss. She asked that teachers follow up 2 or 3 times, even to get a phone call, just to check in. That way parents are a part of their child's education. So that was really great. For MVU, the big thing they wanted me to share was they recently went to the FFA Nationals, which is the Future Farmers of America. That is something they tend to go annually. This year, it was from October 29th through November 1st, with Elizabeth Sweet and Andy Cohen being the ones that Godin that went for staff members, and 8 students from MVU actually attended. And that's in Indianapolis, Indiana, which is very exciting. It was a 98th conference. They got to just be with 3,100 other students and service providers throughout the country. They got to participate in different workshops around leader development, agricultural advocacy, mental health awareness. They also got to tour big major tool and machine companies, getting firsthand insight into what large-scale manufacturing looks like. And within the expo, there was over 307 booths that were highlighting different agricultural industries, hands-on learning experiences, and even college opportunities related to fields of that kind of study. So, which is always a great event for them to attend. And then the last piece, just for the district, actually very similar to what you were sharing. It is budget season for the school district already. So all the schools have looked at kind of what they're hoping for in the budget. Then, of course, the school district's budget is created from that. You probably don't know, but the district actually comes up, or the school board, comes up with like 3-4 different drafts before one is actually presented to the voters. So they'll be getting a lot of that work, and December is when really the board will start deciding what budget they want to get out to the community, and they'll have different informational meetings. But flyers will actually begin to start coming out within December going into January, because we do have to also present our budget within a certain timeline before it goes out to voters in March. And those flyers that will go home very soon will actually have a QR code to get information from our voters around what they're hoping for in the school budget or goals that they have. That way we're building a budget that's appropriate to what our voters are hoping would have for our school system. And that's all the updates for MVSD.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a lot. Any questions for Yeshua? None?
I have a compliment for Yeshua.
Oh, thank you. I'll always take that.
The school community feels so positive lately.
Great.
My kids come home like happy and excited for the things happening at school, and
That
it
is
just
awesome.
feels so. Yeah, it just feels like a great place to be right now.
That's really great to hear. Thank you
Nice.
for that.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate that.
Thanks, Abby. Nicole's not here. Is there anybody here that can speak to the activities at the rec center? I know there's usually a list about that long. I'm guessing that she's still busily working through all the different programs and projects she has, so we'll wait until next time for her. Swanton Historical Society, Nick.
Pretty quiet time for the Historical Society. I'm sure we're going to have holiday trains coming up on after Christmas on the 26th, 27th, 28th from 11 to 3 at the depot. So it's probably the next major event that's gonna happen unless something happens to fall in between. I can also give an update on the Chamber of Commerce. Christmas in the Park is gonna be on November 29th from 3 to 5. And I might be there helping volunteering. I might be dressed up as an elf, so we'll see. And other than that, Citizen of the Year we should get a posting out for that in December. So if you want to enter a nomination, feel free.
Great. And I'll wait for my questions about Promote Swanton in the Chamber when we get down to that. Susie's not here. She sent me a nice email. This date conflicted with quite a few other meetings, so we're going to be a little more careful when we schedule these because it seems like the third Thursday of the month is, or whatever this is, second, third, seems to be a popular time for a variety of meetings. But Susie's going to come back to us in the spring. She needs additional funds for the tree plantings. And then she wants to talk about some other fundraising ideas for beautification as well. So we can push that too after the first of the year. No one's going to be planting trees in the next couple of months. Crystal.
So for the Healthy Communities, we hosted Screenagers, the elementary edition, last week. We had a small group in attendance, but we had a wonderful conversation. We will be showing, so our attempt at showing the original Screenagers did not really work out very well for us. So we will be showing that on December 3rd at MVU at 5:30. It is a wonderful documentary. I think those of us that have watched it have kind of taken a lot from it. I know personally, it's made me think about my kiddos' screen usage and how that impacts them. And so we hope folks will join us for that conversation. The documentary is approximately an hour long, and then we have a conversation that we're hoping to have facilitated after with folks from the community. I'm blanking on his name, Dr. Strokoff from NCSS. Thank you, Abby. Dr. Strokoff from NCSS leads that conversation. He himself is a dad, and he's been doing work around digital addiction for about 10 years. So it's a great conversation.
It's also entice more people to come. There's also childcare provided, dinner for the kids is provided, and there's like a raffle prize for attendees. So hopefully people will come and enjoy those benefits
December
as well.
3rd?
December 3rd at MVU.
What was the time on it?
5:30.
You're giving away Wells?
The raffle prizes, I heard it Bill as well.
It's already
Bill's coming.
I actually already have it in my calendar because we're funding it.
Yes. Oh, I probably should have mentioned that.
No,
So this is
okay.
this effort has been a partnership. We're really excited about that part. So this effort has been a partnership between NCSS, Franklin County Caring Communities, the Swanton Library, the MVSD school system, and it is funded by the opiate funding from Swanton. So we are happily using that money in a great way. And Screenagers is just the very little bit of how that funding is being utilized. We're providing safe spaces for young people in times where they're not at school, so their third space time. So things like the upcoming 2-day camp that Abby's hosting, some other events that are happening around the community, and just providing young people a safe and screen-free place to be.
Thank you. I realized that I inadvertently went past the Arts Council, so excuse me. Marie.
Okay. I have an update from Judy Paxman, who's the director. So the upcoming events of the Arts Council is there's a tamale class. Do you know anything about that, if there's questions?
I know a little bit about that.
Hot today, gone
That'll be Saturday, December 6th at 11 to 1. Pre-registration is required at 868-7656.
Or you can just go on the library website, which would be much easier.
Okay.
Where is that taking place?
At the library.
And there's going to be an art social on Thursday, December 11th, from 5 to 7 at the library. The annual meeting of the Swanton Arts Council will be Sunday, January 11th, from 2 to 4 p.m. at the library. Nominations for Board of Directors are now being accepted. The Edwin Church Award for Local Writers deadline is December 8th. This year's theme is gratitude. And work continues with the Spark Connecting Community Grant for an outdoor mural display along the Swanton Rec fence line. And there's a request here for any assistance that we can receive from the SEP to cover our $600 annual insurance bill, which is almost double from the past several years, would be appreciated. While we have received several grants this year for free art, community events, and projects, none of those funds are able to be used for this purpose.
Shame how I did that.
So, and forgive me for this question, but does the Arts Council need insurance for for a building or?
It's like a liability
Do you know?
insurance for the programs that they run.
Not directors and officers, it's,
Not what?
what's that called? Anybody?
D&O insurance.
It is
officers and
D&O,
officers,
yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Is it
It's
same?
probably a combination policy.
Okay.
It's not for a building though, it's for
Just their organization is the general, okay.
Now,
Okay.
that's something they'd have to put in a written request.
How do we normally do that?
I think we can make a motion here when we get into new business. And take a vote on it.
Okay. All right, getting back to, we'll come back to that, Marie. Anything else?
That's it.
Any questions for Marie?
Not so much questions. I want to say so wonderful to see so many programs that are happening in this community, and especially utilizing the library space. When I was a kid, the library was not a wonderful place to be. It was not a friendly place to be. Sorry, it was a bit scary, just to be honest. And it is so great to see people going in and out of the library all day long, to see all of the programming that's happening and to see kids in that space.
It's a mini community center.
Yeah.
It
what
is, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, Community and Economic Development Promote Swanton Chamber, Darcy. Nick, you touched on this. I have a question. I'm not sure to whom I should address it. What's the difference between Promote Swanton and the Chamber, and are the missions similar? Can they be, can they
I'm
be
the only
morphed into
person
one?
here from Promote Swanton, but I think they're pretty similar. But I think the Promote Swanton is more the advertising website side of things, and the chamber is more the events. And you can correct me if I'm wrong because you're the chamber, but
Yeah, our focus currently is more on events. We do want to do more to help businesses, of course, but right now our focus is on events, yeah.
and Promote Swanton is more like the
external?
The marketing and advertisement of things.
Brandon,
Yes.
rep from the trustees, rep from the select board, and others working together to try to get more visibility out there for Swanton and trying to brand it some, but we don't have here
Do you work
tonight is
together?
that Swanton symbol. If you see it by the VFW on the large wall in the middle, we've
I
got
haven't
4
noticed it,
signs that,
I don't.
don't know if we'll get them all up this year because of the weather and time, but we're gonna change all these outdated and very tired welcome to Swanton signs in 4 locations with new signs with that logo, which is, it stands out. It's got some great colors into it.
So, but that's the role of Promote Swanton.
That's promote Swanton
Okay.
and working with the town of Swanton and so on, and the village, and yes.
I'm just trying to figure out how these
They
all
do
work
work together. though. Darcy's on both things,
good.
and Darcy connects us all.
Chief Gagne is not here, and we have a little extra time on the agenda. If Representative Walker wants to provide an update, you're welcome to join us at the table, or we can
I didn't necessarily prepare
We
an
can turn
update, and plus I got this really cool hat. to
I
show
know.
off. Chevalier drilling, right? Session starts January 6th. All the Franklin County delegation has been attending legislative breakfast, receptions, lunch. I was at Franklin County Industrial Development just before I came here. They have another one in December. NCSS, we were all on NCSS earlier this week. We were at NMC last week. We were at the judiciary on Monday, met with judges and pieces, which I will say was a very positive in comparison to the mood of the judiciary last year, with the new judges, with the ability to push through more cases, and with the effort to now hold people. That building was one of the things that, and I'm not focused on judiciary, I already mentioned that most of my time and energy is in the House transportation piece, but I will note for the citizens, and at least for the piece that the mood of the employees, the clerks, the judges, the feeling that they were accomplishing and moving through and in a better position to help protect and to enforce. It was dramatically almost 180 degrees difference than where it was last year when we went there for our legislative reception. There's a new judge that's been there for a while. They also statewide hired several others that are working on all the cases of particularly the complaints of the people with more than 20 plus complaints, which are the habitual problems. They really feel like they're making progress on that, and that they believe the communities will start to feel that difference. So that was very notable in that respect. Also, at the NCSS, what really stood out to me was that they had completed they built a house that's kind of up in the campus up there for adults that are mentally disabled, and that it's an amazing issue across the whole country that their parents have taken care of them for their path, and they're now, and there is no place for these people to be taken care of, and they are trying these small home scenarios, and we were able to see a presentation on one that was working with 6 new residents that are in that, and that was impressive. So those are a couple of the things that really stood out about the receptions. And we were at the hospital in the morning, and the announcement regarding the change in leadership came that afternoon. So that one was a little odd scenario there. There is a significant issues at the hospital and related to obstetrics, relating to what we're going to do and not do, and what the state is going to come out for money in terms of keeping the birthing in at NMC or not, and what level of stabilization funding will do to be able to keep that 400 or 500 babies that are born there a year. And that's a pretty significant issue, and the delegation is pretty focused on making sure that their piece stays there. So there's a lot of things that go on that doesn't even touch what I am trying to do, is start to really look at the mission for transportation related issues into the next session. I could go on for quite a while with this. I'm not going to do that, but I'm certainly happy to answer any questions that people have, and I can stick around after if people have questions about that. So thank you very much. I appreciate the chance to
Any questions for Representative Walker? I'm not going to let you sit down just yet.
Do you want to take ownership of the B6 bridge?
Of course not. Me personally, no.
You know, he's so sick of me.
You
I do this
you
every
ask
time.
Secretary Flynn that on a regular basis,
I
right?
do.
There was speaking of the Secretary Flynn, it's not to answer your question, but there was a significant snow event, that everybody felt in their commutes dramatically. I've spoken to the Secretary. I actually got quite the internal report from the agency on what had happened, and they feel very confident that it was a unbelievable combination of weather, and that we live in Vermont, and this winter came much, much earlier than it usually does, but they did have some breakdowns. They had some vehicles that went, that broke, and that they had a number of mechanical problems, but they really will say that there was not a lot different that they could have done. That the combination of the way the temperatures and the way that the snow came, they have cameras everywhere. It's amazing what I was given, but in terms of how fast it was falling and how much the technology that they brought into their snow program is quite amazing, and they know exactly how much salt they lay down and exactly how much they do per mile, and it's all computerized, it's all tracked. You can watch on the internet exactly where their plows are and where they're headed. I mean, it's really quite a scientific operation, and it still wasn't able to quite keep up in that particular time frame. But that's probably the biggest thing that I've gotten the most feedback on. That and the tolls story that was on the news over the last week.
Yeah, that was one of my questions.
Okay. I'm certainly happy to answer the tolls question. It's unfortunately very simple. that we cannot put tolls on Interstate 89 or 91 unless we pay back all of the money that we took to build the highway for free. In other words, sorry, it's not free, but Vermont did not contribute to the building of 89 and 91. They took the 100% funded. Therefore, it comes with very clear strings that says you will not do anything to impede interstate commerce. So you cannot put a toll booth on 89 or 91, or you could possibly on 93. That's a little bit, that little section of 93 over there. We could put it on Route 4 or Route 7 or Route 9, but then I'm pretty sure you would hear a huge squawking of all the people that live and work and go back and forth, and that may not be targeted at. I certainly welcome and love the idea of finding some way to increase tax revenues by sharing it from other people outside of our communities, but the toll is a no-go, and it does create a lot of traffic. What I did find interesting was reading a lot of the comments about other suggestions, and both positively and negatively about what we could or could not do. In the transportation world, you're going to hear a significant amount of, well, after education and healthcare. Those are the two biggest issues facing the legislature. All moving in is going to be education reform, what will or won't happen, and the huge efforts that there are to stall and make sure nothing happens. That's my opinion. The worst thing possible is that there is a huge effort by the entrenched, whatever you would call it, to make sure nothing changes. We can't afford that. We just cannot afford to do that. We have less than 90,000 students now. We only had 5,000 babies born in the state last year. In the next 8 years, we're going to go from the 86,000 we have now, we're going to be down in the 70s very soon, and we will eventually be in the 60s. We cannot pay $29,000 per child. We just can't. Sorry if I'm carrying on. If you look at graduation come June and watch every single student go by there, and there goes a $250,000 investment by the society to make that child ready for graduation. When MVU graduates, that's $25 million right there on that stage. It's $25 million investment by us to educate them, and the test scores continue to go down, and their capabilities and readiness for entering society and helping return something back on that investment continues by every measurement to go down. So when you watch graduation next May, there's $25 million of investment by us in that youth to contribute to society, and there's a real question about whether they're ready to do that or not, but $250,000 per for 12 years, that's a huge, something has to change. I don't know what it is exactly, and I'm not in education, but I know that my biggest concern going down there on that number one topic is that we have to be willing to try and do new things and maybe not wait 12 years for the next change if it doesn't work or however we move forward. But that's my biggest concern, is that we have to move forward. It cannot go on the way that it is. I do not think people fully understand the impact of the demographics. You cannot have just 5,000 kids a year. It'll be 4,900 this year. Pretty soon you will be at only 60,000 students in a system built for 120. You can't pay for that way. Sorry, that's my biggest concern.
No,
that's the biggest legislative issue. Healthcare expense, which is out of control, is the next biggest issue. You will hear about transportation. We do not have enough money to pay for the work that needs to be done. The gas tax collection continues to go down as we have more efficient vehicles. We are in a $34 million hole in transportation for this year. We'll see what the governor's budget does to handle that, but there has to be a long-term solution and change, and there's a number of pieces that we work on. I am very involved in that particular piece of it, but I will say I do enjoy the events and the interaction and the time that I've spent down there. As now in my it'll be my fourth year. Fourth year? Well, February 2nd, 2022, or whatever that would be. It'll be 4 years on February 22nd of 2022. It'll be 4 years. And now I feel like I finally started to understand how it works and how you become effective and what you can and can't do. Surprisingly, it takes a while. It's totally different than the business world. And I'll certainly say that. Thank you very much for your time. I'm sorry to keep it.
No, that's fine. I actually have one question. Have you had Beta Technologies into your committee to talk about?
We have not been into committee, but we have been on several tours of their spot.
Hopefully after January 6th, you can have them down there and talk a little bit.
They are a very popular request. I bet. They get a lot of attention in the State House, and those are big opportunities. They offered to buy the Caledonia Airport. They want to buy, and I'm not sure that if we go in the direction of where aviation is headed, maybe we ought to hang on to all the assets the state has related to that area. Who knows where they're going to take us? Who knows where Beta is going to take? And particularly the opportunity with all of the vendors that they have, but also competitors follow into those type of businesses. It's a major opportunity for the state.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Any other questions?
Joel?
Federal funds. How are we looking for federal funds for the highway with everything that's been going on in
What
2025?
I'm being told, and I have a meeting with the secretary and his team coming up on the 12th, and on the 8th, there is a national conference of 11 states, Agency of Transportation, and they're of each director, and the appropriations and legislative people are all looking at state funding in the same issue. So there's two kind of there. How are we going to pay for our portion? But the word on right now from our federal highway people is that the federal highway reauthorization that's due in 2 years, year to two, is right now the only area of federal government that the message is the states may get more than what they've been getting. Every other area is we're going to get less, and this administration is going to make sure we get less in most areas, which is going to be a huge issue, is becoming and already is a huge issue. But I'm being told that federal highway and rail money and infrastructure money is an area that they're interested in increasing the amount. That is great news, except
Got to get the match.
that, as Bill mentioned earlier, the match is because huge pressure. The state's policy is to not leave any federal money on the table, and that puts a huge pressure on our 10% for the interstate piece, 20% for most projects, and that means if we get more money, or we have opportunity to get more money, we have to come up with more match.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, sorry. You never give the politicians.
Don't apologize. Thank you for what you do. It's, these reports are valuable. Thank you. Did I forget anybody on my list? Okay, thank you. All right, moving to new business. We'll talk about dates in a second, but I want to hand this back over to Joel because I know there were some items he wanted to add.
Yes, the first item of business, I'd like to make a motion to add Kirsten and Crystal to the bank account and to remove Debbie Winters and Betsy Fournier's name off the paperwork so that we have that up to date. Can I get a second?
Second.
Actually, I guess that's your job to get the second, but I made the
But
motion.
because we have a motion, a second.
Yes.
Any discussion, concerns? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Excellent, thank you. Next, Joel, do you want to take a donation to the Abnaki Food Shelf and the
Catholic Church?
Catholic Church?
Yes.
And what
Make
was
a motion to donate $200 each to the Abnaki and Catholic Church food shelves.
I'd second that.
Okay?
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carried. Thank you. And you'll take care of?
I'll get the check and get it delivered to both.
Okay,
Absolutely.
sounds good. Thanks, Joel.
And
And then do we want to talk about the Arts Council insurance, or do we want them to come back with something more formal?
I'm comfortable that it's formal. I mean, I'm willing to make a motion to donate $100 toward that $600 bill.
Okay. So there's a motion on the table to donate $100 toward the, is that what you said, 100?
Yes.
To support the Art Council. Do I have a second? Neil? Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. Thank you. So we will make a $200 donation to the Abnaki Food Shelf. We'll make a $200 donation to the food shelf at the Catholic Church and $100 to support the Arts Council's insurance.
Didn't Abby have
Thank
something
Yeah,
else?
I was just gonna say Operation Happiness too as well, if we see fit for the kids' Christmas gifts.
How much? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna
however much.
actually, I'm gonna make a motion to donate $100 to the Library for Operation Happiness. It is the end, this is our last
Yep.
meeting of the year anyway. And if someone wants to increase that, after someone seconds this, so we can have that discussion, but I'm putting out $100 right now.
Do we have a
There's motion.
second? Do we have a second to Joel's motion?
Second.
Nick, thank you. Any discussion?
Double it,
Double it.
please.
I'll amend it to 200.
Still good? Any further discussion? All those in favor of donating $200 to the library for its Operation Happiness activities, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. That motion passes as well. Thank you, and you'll take care of the,
Yes.
okay. And let Crystal and I know what we need to do as far as signing paperwork for the bank. Wow. Wow.
She's got some of the information
Just to
here.
start. Excellent.
We talked already.
I see. I came in way late to this conversation. Okay.
Abby, can I just, Abby, what is the date that you need items moved?
Everything is due back to me the 12th. I would have to get, it's probably the 13th, but I'll have to get back to you for sure on that because no one's reached out to me with the official date that things need to be to the church.
Yeah.
So it's moving everything from the library to the Catholic church, which is where it's distributed.
Yeah.
It's usually the day after they want stuff back.
I'm thinking that we probably have some firefighters.
That would be fabulous.
That will
Good
help.
idea.
And maybe we can
Yes.
do some outreach there.
That'd be great.
Excellent.
Police and fire.
Yeah.
That would be so fabulous.
Yeah.
Okay, as far as meeting dates for 2026, I can't believe we're 2026. So close already. January 8th, March 12th, and May 14th. At this point, those sound fine. I don't know if others have concerns, just looking at these quickly. Joel, Crystal?
I think that this month the anomaly is that we pushed it back by a week.
Yes, because it's,
Yeah,
because I
so-
couldn't, yeah.
That's probably why the conflict has arisen, but I think we've been okay up to this point doing the second Thursday.
So these are second Thursday.
No,
okay.
third.
Are they third?
This is the third Thursday?
No.
Right,
But
so
normally-
this month I said
Normally we
I'm
do the
sorry.
second.
Yeah,
Yes.
Sorry.
Typically we try the second.
Great, and I'm fine with these dates if we want to just put them in the calendar. Question for this group, we changed our format a little bit last year. We had our business guest and our guest speaker. Do we want to keep doing that? I think that, brings a little something extra to the conversation. We work beside these people all day and sometimes don't know exactly what they do. So if you guys are good keeping it, then I think it's a great idea. And if anybody has businesses or other folks you think would be interesting to hear from, send them our way. I just realized that I did not follow through on Molly's request to ask each of you what you want from SEP in the coming year. You can follow up with an email if you choose, otherwise we can revisit this after the first of the year. And I'll take full responsibility for not doing that.
And we probably should add that our theme for the year is Celebrate Swanton. So if there are any ideas on how we can do that, please pass that along.
Any other business to come before the committee tonight? We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.